Finish up these outer petals with 325 Carbothello Deep, Carmine Red Deep, and on the outer edge use some 310 Carbothello where it gets a little more orangey because there's more yellow, more sunlight, and put a little pink on the outside edge with Pit 124 and put Carbothello White over that to brighten it up. Add some dark with Conte number 19 purple. And a few streaks with Conte number 49. Add some additional color as you see a need for it. Now this last petal, let's color the inside with Pit 124. And add some add some Carbothello 325 over that to deepen the color. Outline the edge with Conte 49. And add that outside portion, draw a line with Conte number 19, and then add some Conte 49 on the outside edge and lighten that with Carbothello 100. Add a spot of yellow to the very inside with 210, which is probably the stamen of the flower. And then on the very outside of this particular petal, add, coming out of the stamen, add some Carbothello 325 and darken that with 750 black. Add a little white highlight with Carbothello 100 right in the center there. Use the Conte 19 to darken that upper edge. Fill in the outside of this petal with a pink color, the Pit 124. Add some Conte 49 and outline the outside edge, and a little bit of white with Carbothello 100 to lighten the area. and fill in with some Conte 49. Using Carbothello 325, I'm going to add some redder color to the petal. And a little Carbothello white in the center. Finish up with a few more highlights using the Carbothello 100 and the Carbothello 210. Let's move on to our leaf. I'm going to use my Rembrandt 620.8 olive green for the light areas of the leaf, and I'm going to use a 627.2 Rembrandt Cinnabar green deep for the dark areas. Now, using my reference as a guide, I'm placing the light areas of the leaf. So I'm not filling it in completely, and then I'm going to place the dark areas. Now here I'm adding the dark areas, as I mentioned before, with 627.2 Cinnabar green deep. I'm also adding Unison Green 29 in the light areas and unison green 31 in the dark areas. And blend all this together thoroughly with your sponge blender. Add the light veins of your leaf with Carbatello 560 leaf green pale. Now outline the opposite side of the vein with Carbatello 595 dark green, and that will represent the shadow side of the vein, which will help your vein show up and add 3-dimension to your leaf. I've drawn in the veins of my leaf, and I'm going to use a white Carbothello pencil to outline the outside edge of the leaf facing the light. I'm using Carbothello 585 olive green to add some shadowing between the veins to give a little dimension to my leaf. I'm going to add more light in between the sections of the leaf, in between the veins. I'm going to use Unison 29 for the light areas and Unison Green 31 for the dark. This is a softer pastel. It makes adding the color easier, and it's beautiful, rich color. And then I just blend it with my finger or a little blender to smooth that in. So here I'm using the little blender in between where the veins are, and that's going to give more dimension to our leaf. I'm continuing to add a little white edge to the leaf. I've added more Unison 29 and Unison 31. My veins have kind of disappeared when I added the lighter Unison colors, so I'm drawing it back in, and I'm in some areas make them a little stronger with Carbothello white. This part of the leaf takes a little time. So I'm using 595 to outline the vein on the right hand side, which I spoke about before, which gives dimension. And I'm shading a bit in between the smaller veins and the main vein in the leaf with the 595. And over the 595, I'm using a 570 to just blend the 595 into the leaf so it's not a harsh transition. Now on this section of the leaf, looking at my reference photo, I can see some little tiny lines. And I'm going to draw those in with the 595. I'm just very lightly drawing those in. And then I'm going to take the 570 and just kind of lighten areas around it. Just gives a little more detail and dimension to my painting. I'm continuing to use 585 and 595 to darken areas of the leaf. I'm continuing to add veins with the 560 and to color in between those veins with 570, 585, and 595. .585 is what I'm using here, and that's a medium value. And just adds so much to our painting to take the time to put in these details. Now some areas need a little more dark added, so I decided to use my unison that you can see here, my dark unison, to just boldly add some color in, and then I'm going to take a larger sponge. This is also a softer one. I don't want to undo all that veining that I spent the time doing, but I want to blend it softly into my painting. And add some more in this area. And just blend it in. Continue adding dark and using your blender to blend that in. I'm adding a little texture to the leaf by using the light color of Unison Green, number 29, adding little strokes and then lightly blending it so it shows that texture that I can see in my original reference photo. And that adds a lot of interest to the leaf. So I'm adding a little more light and then carefully blending it all together. I'm continuing to tweak the leaf, adding little dots of light or dark as needed, and blending with my blender. Being careful not to overdo it, but I want it to be a really spectacular leaf. It's really kind of the center point of the painting. I'm using my Carbothello 100 to brighten up a few of the veins in a few spots. Here I'm using a little sliver of eraser, a hard eraser, to clean up this edge down at the bottom of the leaf. And then I'll outline that and even up that edge with the Carbothello white and then blow off the eraser dust. Here I'm adding the 544 Midnight Blue Mount Vision around the begonia bud, and I'm using the 720 Carbothello pencil to get up really close to those edges, and then my blender to blend it out into the background. Now if I mess up an edge, I can go over it, which I'm going to do with a red pencil to even that out. So I'm using my little blender to get in tight, and then the red to outline that edge and reclaim it. It's one of the wonderful things I love about pastel. I hope you've enjoyed this project. It's been a lot of fun for me. And I hope you'll give it a try. Please join me again for another project. You can find out more about what I'm up to and what classes are coming up and what's available by going to my website at kwit.com.